All right. Yeah, obviously, disappointing night for us. You come as far as this team has come and this program has come in the last 12 months. You get that close to winning a championship and possibly much more. And obviously to not get it done is it's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, that's when you get to the top like this and these games that have so much riding on them. It takes so much to get here, especially where we started from. And so to get here and not get it done, not play our best is obviously, we're very, very disappointed locker room. No other way to say it. I want to give Utah a lot of credit. They battled their way to get back into this game. Did a tremendous job. They played better than us today. They certainly deserved to win tonight. They were definitely the better team tonight. And want to give their coaching staff, their players a lot of credit. And they certainly deserve that. Our guys deserve, and our program deserves a lot of credit for being here right now. There's no question. And proud of the way that these guys battled really all year. Battled tonight, had some obvious things not go our way, and just kind of continued to keep fighting. Kept it a pretty tight game there at the end, and we just didn't have quite enough to get over the hump. And obviously made mistakes, all across the board. Didn't play. Our play didn't really resemble the way we've played the majority this year, and so disappointed with some of the missed opportunities out there. And that's the name of the game when you get to this level in these kind of games against good football teams. You gotta go play good football to win, and we didn't do it. Obviously, there's a much bigger picture and outlook here of the progress that's been made here in the last 12 months. So we're not going to walk around like this is some funeral. All right, we've made some great progress to be in this moment. We expected to win tonight. We didn't get it done, but that changes nothing in terms of the direction and trajectory of this program. And it's due to guys like these two guys here, all those guys in that locker room that are heartbroken right now that battled. Had guys refusing to come out of the game. Guys just kind of continue to battle as things went on, and really we've done it all year. So no real surprise there, but it's not something that as a head coach you take for granted. So love coaching this team, and we've responded to any type of adversity that's hit us all year. This will be a different kind, but I expect our response to be an elite level, and so we'll find out where the next one is and be ready to go.
Lincoln Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Sort of a two-parter for you. You've seen obviously a lot of players in your career. The guy to your left has to be one of the gutsiest performances you've seen. And what was the conversation at one point with your backup warming up? Was there a consideration?
Oh, there's definitely. I mean, he popped his hamstring on the long run. That was second or third drive of the game. And I asked him at one point, I was like, "Are you 50%?" And I mean, he was not even close to 50%. And I definitely thought about taking him out. He wouldn't have let me. He didn't let me. And he wouldn't even let me take him out at the end. And it was, in terms of guys I've coached at that position, is maybe the gutsiest performance I've ever seen. I mean, most guys wouldn't even played. And he still, gave us a chance. And we had to change the game plan. We had to change a lot of things on the fly. And he just kind of kept battling and willed us. And we had a real shot there at the end. I thought really after we scored the touchdown and made it a 3-point game, that we had some real momentum on our side. It was, that's as gutsy a performance as you'll ever see.
Andy Staples, Athletic. Lincoln, does something need to change philosophically or schematically to put defenses on the field that are as good as the offenses you put on the field?
I think tonight, defensively, we obviously played really well early. Had a lot of momentum. They seized it there at in the second quarter, and I thought really the second half it really changed. I mean, I felt like we were positioned a lot defensively tonight. We dropped 2 or 3. I mean, very easy interceptions. I mean, those are such big momentum plays. They made some of the competitive catches that we didn't make, and then at the end of the game, we got way too focused on. We panicked a little bit. We got way too focused on trying to strip the ball or trying to make big plays as opposed to just getting them on the ground. And our tackling was very poor at the end. So a lot of things that we got to correct going into this next one.
Billy Witz with the New York Times. Like, just to follow up on the defense part of it. I mean, the 2 long touchdown runs in the third quarter were both plays where it looked like your guys were trying to more focused on taking the ball away than they were tackling. Is that something you teach?
To take the ball away?
To take the ball away first rather than tackle?
I don't know that I'm going to justify that question with an answer.
For Caleb, can you describe kind of what you felt when you got hurt and then what it was like trying to go through the rest of the game?
You ever have an old rubber band? Yeah, kind of felt like that, and then the rest of the game I felt it, but I had a something that I always go by, not always go by, but something that I have watched and admire, and a person that I admire is Kobe, and he always said the game is bigger than what you're feeling, and so I was in my head and encouraging myself that the game is bigger than what I was feeling, and I also had a group of guys that was looking at me to go out there and lead them to victory, and that didn't end up happening, but that was what was going on.
John Gold, Saturday Out West. Coach, not having Voorhees out there tonight, can you just talk about that absence and what he meant to this team?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best offensive linemen in the country, and so obviously not having him was a disappointment. He's really battled the last half of the season. Really hasn't been anywhere close to 100%, but he's just another example of guys on all sides of the ball that have really battled. Did it have an impact? It probably did. Certainly when you lose one of your best players up front and you got to shuffle some things around like we did, that's part of it. But I feel like the group that we put out there was perfectly capable of playing well. Losing Nealon at the end when we had a little bit of momentum certainly hurt too, because now you're shifting a lot of people, and some of our depth showed up a little bit there at the end. So obviously hope to be able to potentially get them back for the bowl. We'll see how that plays out.
I'm Coach L.T. Wilson, TG Sports. Can you tell us what was so difficult about running the football tonight against Utah?
A couple times that we didn't execute early. Some of our run game honestly became not totally limited, but when your quarterback's basically immobile, it's certainly a factor there as well. People got to play us a little bit differently with him when he can move around. So that was obviously that changed some of the run game, and I certainly deserve fault at that. There's times that I could have and should have stayed with it more as far as calling the game.
Lincoln, obviously only 2 losses this season, but they were both to the same team. What is it maybe that Utah does in particular that creates a tougher matchup for you guys than maybe some of the other teams you faced?
Yeah, they're 2 very different games. I mean, first game, at their place, they made plays, and we made plays there too. We had obviously a lot of chances, a lot of things that didn't quite go our way that night. But they're a good football team, right? They make you earn it. I mean, quarterbacks played a lot of ball. They've got some really good skill. Defensively, they're very strong. They've had a system in place and guys recruited for a long time, and you see the continuity and how that's built, and you kind of feel that with the way that their guys play. And so you got to give them credit. Part of when you get to kind of these moments and these big games is groups that have been there before, and they certainly have. A lot of our team has not, and we had our chances up there. We certainly had our chances tonight, but you got to tip your hat to them. They're a good football team, and you got to play well to beat them. And we played well up there, just not quite enough to overcome it. Tonight was obviously way too spotty.
So, Lincoln, as you look at all the things that happened tonight that you had to deal with on the line, to what extent do you feel like this game was won and lost at the line of scrimmage?
I mean, it's a big factor every single game, but it's not a singular factor. I mean, it's we all own in it. I mean, again, there's. You can go look at this game from so many different angles, right? Had a lot of momentum early, and then even after Caleb got dinged, we were still stopping them there defensively. We had a chance after we get the fumble, to really separate right there. I mean, just think of how that game feels if offensively we go punch that one in. I mean, those are those big momentum plays that when you look back, so much can hinge on those. We drop a for sure interception, and then I think they pop a score the very next play on a 3rd and long on a play we didn't tackle very well. And so, I mean, that's the game right there, right? I mean, it comes down to they made more plays than we did. They played better than we did. Line of scrimmage, skill, it's all the above. The line of scrimmage is certainly very important in games like this. It was important tonight, but so are the other parts as well.
Coach Riley, Jamal Magny, Los Angeles Football Network. First of all, congratulations on an incredible season. You inherited a team that went 4-8, and here we are sitting here 11-2 and talking about the possibility of championships. So
I like this guy already.
Congratulations to you, and Caleb, congratulations to you for being the best player in America this year. In terms of the game, Coach, felt like it was 2 different games. It was 17-3 SC, and then it was 44-7 Utah. What did you see in terms of kind of a sequence of plays or schematics or things where you felt the tide was turning, and what did you see in that shift?
Yeah, I think there was two parts, right? There was the one that we just referenced, which was, we're up, we get the turnover, we got all the momentum in the world. We don't punch it in, and then they regain momentum for really the rest of the second half. And then I thought after we scored, we kind of held serve there defensively for a while when we still weren't playing very good offensively in the beginning of the 3rd. And then we scored and got it to a 3-point game, and I thought that was kind of the key sequence right there. We'd held serve, but weren't able to hold serve there offensively. We just didn't play very well together much. Like even the beginning of the half, we're getting stops, but then we're going 3 and out down there. And we had some chances to surge. We had a chance to really separate in the game early. We didn't do it. And then we obviously had a chance to go back and get the lead or separate a little bit there in the 3rd quarter, and we didn't do it. And I think Utah did a better job playing together, and they did a better job when they surged. They made us pay for it. They got the combined stops and scores together and went on better runs than we did.
Time for one more thing, time.
Hey Lincoln, I know there's a bowl game still left to play, but I know for you guys, roster stuff is going to be taken forefront with the transfer portal and recruiting. Where do you feel like you guys need to take the next step with this roster so you finish with a win here next year?
All parts of it. I mean, I think so much is going to reset right now, and so we'll get an idea. As these next few weeks goes on, we'll get. Obviously, we're going to prep for a really, really good game coming up next. So there's obviously that's going to be the main thing, but then certainly that we'll be taking an eye towards next year's roster. And again, it's not like you've got the whole roster at your disposal and you just pick these spots. There's going to be a lot of changes. That's just college football this day and age. We understand that, and so the guys that we have in the locker room now that are with us next year, we know what our mission is to be in that same locker room and feeling a whole hell of a lot different than we do right now. And then we'll bring in a couple of pieces that are going to help us on that journey.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.